I was actually raised in the Olmsted Parks, practically. I lived in a community bookended by Riverside Park and Central Park in New York. And I have indelible memories and foundational influences from the Olmsted, and I have to add, Vaux Parks. So, for example, I learned forming land and conflict resolution in the sandboxes of Riverside Park. I learned about horticulture from my late mother, who every spring would go to Riverside Park and come back with bouquets of daffodils, illegally. I learned how to look at landscapes and architecture from my father, an architect, city planner, and should have been landscape architect, on walks through Central Park. I indulged in juvenile delinquency in both parks. I married my wife, Charlotte Glasser, who's here in Central Park. And together we raised both our sons in both parks as our sort of big public backyards. And I had a series of jobs, including working as a food vendor from an illegal pushcart in Central Park in the summer of 1976, and then became one of the first urban park rangers in Central Park. Later on, I'd be lucky enough to go on to work on restoring Central Park, Prospect Park, Riverside Park, Morningside Park, Fort Greene Park, and even Ocean Park or an Eastern Parkway. And I did that with a background kind of like Frederick Olmsted, untrained but trained as a journalist. But I knew enough to shut up and open my eyes and ears and listen to and learn from landscape architects. And I learned about Olmsted's concepts of democracy with a small d, how they played out in the landscapes of our parks, the democratizing, socializing effect of the romantic landscape on all classes of people who would gather together to experience the country and the city. That's a concept still as valid today as it was in the 1850s when Olmsted and Vaux first dreamed up the Greensward Plan. And now I work for the Trust for Public Land, where we share that democratic drive, that we need to put a park within a 10-minute walk of every urban American. But let me emphasize something else, and that is the importance of beauty in urban settings, a quality shared by all the Olmsted landscapes across the country. A sociologist recently wrote that landscapes run by conservancies get, quote, gentrified in an aesthetic way that poor people come to understand is not for them. Perhaps, in other words, don't make it beautiful, don't plant flowers, but install basketball courts. But I would suggest it is perhaps poor people who cannot travel to bucolic country homes or rural parks who most need and most appreciate beauty. As Calvert Vaux wrote, visitors to the parks he designed with Olmsted could, quote, experience their capacity to see and fully appreciate the beautiful. So to my sister and brother colleagues in landscape architecture, may I exhort you, in addition to building functional, high-performing, sustainable, maintainable landscapes, above all, please make sure they're beautiful. Thank you.